They really are off the
real.
cuff. You just say whatever the fuck you want to.
We live.
We live now.
We were over.
See, that's why you don't need to say that though, because then, especially girls, whenever you say that we're live,
especially girls.
Yes, especially girls. Whenever you start the podcast, well, actually before the podcast, they'll be like, and then you start the podcast, and they'll be like,
silence. I don't know what I'm gonna say.
Yeah,
I'm nervous.
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't prepare for this podcast.
They won't even say that
do
much.
Another one. I honestly, some dudes act that way, bro.
Yeah,
we've had a couple dudes on this podcast that have hit me up or said shit after the fact that we've done the podcast.
Monton.
He's one of them. He'd be like, bro, we got to do another one. I ain't like that one.
Yeah,
we gotta try something new,
dude. As soon as we stopped that one that we did. It was the only one that we did with him. He was like, bro, there was so much shit that I needed to say, but I didn't. And then
you know what's crazy?
We should have did this and that.
2 or 3, like the day before it dropped, he called me and was like, do you think
I said
somebody
anything?
he was like, you think I said anything out of the way? Because I don't want to get fired.
Bro, I think he texted me that too.
I was like, bro.
I was like, nah, bro, you good.
There is nothing to worry about. You know what I'm saying? At any point, like if it was to go as far as like you getting in trouble on work for this, we should probably be big enough that you can get paid to do this. You know what I mean? Like you should be in a position to quit your job if it's that serious. But I don't think it would ever be. And your job would have to be like watching the fuck out of you, like trying. And at that point,
have to try to find something.
Yeah, it would be like a lawsuit at that point.
Yeah. You think I'll ever be sued?
I think that it's something that you should worry about in the long run.
Yeah, I think so too. I've thought about it.
Because if you ever get big enough, somebody's definitely going to hate it.
Somebody's going to want to come after you.
Yeah.
Once they realize that you can be successful, they're going to find any way to eat. You know what
People
I mean?
from the past, but probably.
Yeah.
That's the way, the world works now. It's a dog eat dog.
Yeah, it's a dog eat dog.
But the thing is, once you get to that point, you'll probably be able to financially afford like the lawyers and stuff to be able to.
Yeah.
But
more than likely
keep
they
that in mind before you just because you could blow in the morning. You can wake up with thousands of views.
Yeah, whatever the algorithm decides. Like we've already seen some videos that kind of just. For some reason, they gain 10, 20 times the amount. Like
they really do.
One would.
In like a week.
Yeah.
Have I been on any of those?
Probably.
There's been a couple.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, you have been on like 2 of them.
Yeah.
That's got like 1,000 or 2,000.
That's neat. That's really neat.
As of now, that's just as of now as we're recording it.
Do you think the title has anything to do with like affecting like
sometimes?
Maybe. I remember that one that was like roof. Yeah, it was just like something real simple.
Yeah, something stupid.
It draws
just silly.
That does draw attention.
Do you ever worry about like the fake computers that they have that just click on videos constantly?
What do you mean?
Like fake views that's like computer generated?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've thought about that. But I mean,
is that a problem or does it benefit?
Does it still count as a view though?
Yeah, it still counts as a view, but I personally wouldn't do it because that's like you can buy.
It's not like buying. No, I'm saying like just in general, like they have warehouses where they have phones plugged in 24/7 that just go through and watch stuff.
Really?
Wow. I've never heard of that.
You have to explain.
Have you never seen?
I've heard of like buying subscribers and like buying views and shit.
Like that, no.
I've heard of that shit, but whenever people do that, it fucks up the algorithm.
Mm-hmm.
So like
it's all fake.
Yeah,
like,
it's all fake.
Who are you to like look at somebody that has this many subscribers and all this, but like you only have a certain amount of real people viewing their stuff? It's off. It just doesn't make no sense.
It really don't. Do you be watching it? You be listening to this podcast?
Oh, all the time. I'm your biggest fan.
See, that's
tell the truth. Tell the truth, because look, I'm in a lot of these podcasts.
She ain't never seen one of these podcasts before.
There's like 60 plus now.
I just
I've watched all 60 plus. Yeah, and all the ones with Lyndon probably multiple times.
No way.
Yeah.
That is definitely a lie. She's lying.
I would never lie. Hook me up. Lie detector test right now.
Okay, then what are the most comments that Carson gets in his comment section?
Here we go.
Like, what are the most common theme?
The comment section? Yes. Is his hair real? No, they're plugins.
Oh, yeah. Goddamn. Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Next.
What, since you asked that question, what is the most common comments?
Do you want to say it or do you want me to?
I think I know what it is.
Yeah, you know better than me.
It's definitely about feet.
Yeah, it's about socks and feet and stuff.
Oh,
It's
our
about
feet up
like
here?
people wanting you to take their.
Bro, take your shoes off,
They
bro.
want us to take them
Like,
For the
No, you-
views.
you
Look
will.
at that.
and do this.
So like show y'all my
these
socks.
are Reeboks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you
and they
go.
want you to like wiggle
There's
your
a good
feet
one.
and stuff
Yeah,
like
get the
that.
toes in
Toes
there.
and
Preferably, I will show y'all the bottom
Huh?
of my.
I don't. Can you get more money for wiggling the toe?
Hell yeah.
Maybe. More
I
views.
think I would if I would.
Yeah.
Preferably,
It's just a sneak peek right now.
I'm not gonna take my shoes off. I might get a paid promotion from this. We might get
Yeah.
sued by this, but these shoes right here are going back in style. I am a trendsetter. They're probably already in style somewhere else,
Yeah.
DC.
but around in these areas, they're not here still. But they are gonna come back.
I don't know about
A lot of
that.
2000 stuff is coming back.
These
Like
should
even
be
with, like,
one of
baggy
them.
stuff.
Not necessarily DC the brand itself, but just big beefy skate shoes. A lot of people spend their money on high dollar like Balenciagas and all. They're just beefy shoes that they do look good on the foot. But these are more affordable. They've been
I
here.
don't fuck with those, bro.
You might not. But look, I have a homeboy who's been telling me like, that's a bad idea. I don't fuck with them old ass shoes. But I was wearing them around him the other day and I caught him like looking at me and he was like, hey, bruh, those shoes are actually fire. He was like, I can't get none now because I done talked so much shit about them. But he was like, those actually do look good on feet.
Cap.
It's just a trend, bro. I mean, and it's you might not
A
like
trend by you?
No, not by me. I mean, obviously
Didn't
they've
Lil
been a
Wayne
trend.
wear those for a long time?
When we were little, like that's what I'm saying. When we were like 8, 9 years old, and Lil Wayne was the shit for us.
Bro, now he just wears like Balenciagas. Now he only wears Balenciagas.
Because the price is what matters to a lot of people nowadays instead of like the appearance.
Okay, I can kind of see what
You
you're
get what I'm
saying.
saying? So like these famous people, they could wear these for $50 and they wouldn't really matter to the world at all, or they could wear Balenciagas for $1,500.
But he don't even get like his hair done, so why would it matter to him?
It's
Yeah.
Yeah, his
Like,
hair
it
is
doesn't, like-
raggedy.
Yeah.
Like
He's
pretty
only
much
Like a
got
haircut or
wigs.
nothing.
Nah,
The
he's about
messy
to start
hair
a
is the
bald.
trend. Messy hair is a trend.
Messy hair.
Nappy hair. They literally make a brush to make
Your hair
African Americans' hair
like
nappy.
and it's like a
A sponge.
squish, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I can see it.
The natural nappy look is more popular now. And what's crazy is when it first started, I remember my grandma saying like, you need to comb your hair. Your hair look a mess. Why
What are
don't
you going to do with your hair?
Right now, I'm growing my hair back out. I actually have an appointment to get my hair braided tomorrow, which is insane.
Braided? Is
Yeah,
it long
but-
enough to be braided?
Yeah, because I don't comb my hair. Like, it's just natural.
What do you mean by braided? Like cornrows?
Yeah, I'm going to get a protective hairstyle just so my hair can further itself in the process of growing.
So you're going to get like cornrows?
Yeah.
Will you ever go back to the frohawk?
To the
From
frohawk?
the 4th grade?
The box hog, you mean? I mean, essentially, that's kind of what I got going on now. But, like, you see it's kind of a mohawk, but it's, like, thicker in the back.
Yeah.
It's wider in the back because when I get my hair grown back out, I'm probably just going to go back and braid it again.
I want to see your inspo pics for what kind of braids you're gonna get.
I don't have any.
You don't have any?
I actually have one that I really want to get, but I don't think that I can get that style right now where like it would even look decent on my type, the way my hair is grown out. But pretty much I'm just gonna go and get whatever braids that I can get for now because I'm just trying to braid my hair to keep it down and tie it up so I can reach my scalp first of all, so I can get because I use a lot of men's hair products.
So what do you think about guys, like not guys, but I'm talking about white people wearing predominantly black hairstyles?
I fuck with it, honestly.
You fuck with that?
I like the trend.
I like when men do it, but when women do it, I feel like it's a completely different conversation.
You think so?
It's a different.
Yes.
It depends. Like,
what do you think about
style haircut are you talking about?
Yeah, I would like to know what style.
Like, are you talking about
so
like
I know that a lot of white women do like extensions and stuff like that, like hair extensions. But I'm talking about like box braids. Like you see that one white girl with like the thick
that
box
everybody
braids.
picks on
and
trying to be
her
black?
scalp is like red, and it just looks like it
It'll
hurts.
fall out. Like that's the thing is like it'll take care of itself. Like if it's really not meant to be in her hair, it'll fall out. Like,
right? I get what
Hell
you're saying,
yeah.
but like the aesthetic that they're trying to give off, I completely get it, what you're saying. It does come off ratchet. It does look ratchet. I think, but like those are the type of girls that they're so in deep into trying to prove that they're not this or not that, or like trying to show everybody that they have a type. You know what I'm saying? That it doesn't. First of all, that's their personality. It really doesn't matter to them. If you say anything, you're starting an argument that you really don't want to be in, because 9 times out of 10, they're going to try to make it seem that like you're racist for calling them out on something that they're obviously trying to be a part of. You get what I'm saying? So it's better.
Wait, what do you mean?
Like if you were to say like you're trying to act like a race because her hair is like that, she'd be like, how do you act like a race? Why are you asking me these questions? Why are you and it all boils down to minding your own business.
Yeah.
But
okay.
Realistically, you don't want, by not minding your own business and pointing out the obvious, it opens that can of worms for them to be able to voice the opinion that they're trying to put off. You know what I mean? Which is ratchet as fuck.
Damn.
I really do hate to say it, but like, you can be a part of black culture without being black culture. You know what I'm saying?
You
like,
think braids and like stuff like dreads is just black culture though?
No, not at all. But at the same sense, it takes you a much different process to get those, and it really just depends on where you're from if that is a part of you. You know what I mean? Because there's Hispanic people that have grew up in predominantly black areas. There's white people that have grew up in we're all mixed and mingled. So like, who am I to say that you can't act this way if that's the way you grew up? More or less, let the way you dress and speak for itself. And
what if it's not like acting a certain type of way? It's just
that's what I'm
like
saying.
I fuck with this hairstyle. Why can't I just use it?
You can.
Why can't I just do it?
You can, but that has to directly fit you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get where when she says like these girls wearing cornrows and shit, like the stereotype that comes with that is exactly the stereotype that fits it 9 times out of 10. You know what I'm saying? Like if you see most women getting cornrows in Jamaica or like on vacation and shit,
yeah,
that's like some tourism shit. You know what I'm saying? That's completely different than like going out to work or on your regular day basis and like wearing cornrows like it's a fashion. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's what differentiates.
I mean, I had cornrows there for a little bit. You remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
Those. But I think that shit was hard.
It was hard, but at the same
it was hard
sense,
as fuck.
Yeah. You had to think about it.
But that's the thing. Like,
it's like,
if you were to go to a job interview, you know yourself, like you did like the cornrows and shit, you would not wear them to a job interview.
You don't think so?
I know you wouldn't. Not to a job that you actually wanted. You know you wouldn't. You know what I'm saying? Because that doesn't really fit your aesthetic.
I don't know who Carson
That was just something that you were trying.
I don't know. I probably would though.
Carson has a very nonchalant attitude.
If you did, you wouldn't give yourself the wholehearted truth. You would come to conclusion with yourself that you might not get the job though. And you would know that in your heart.
Just because of the hairdo?
And you would know it was because of the hair too. You can't tell me that I'm wrong.
Maybe.
Because people are judgmental.
You know people are judgmental, and you know that doesn't fit your aesthetic.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't do that.
Right.
But like for somebody that you wouldn't be able to directly judge you or change your future in any way, you would wear it around them and say,
"Fuck it, just put some braids on." I'm gonna do it again.
Yeah, you're growing your hair.
I really am gonna do it again. I plan on it.
Yeah.
For real, that shit's gonna be hard.
How much longer do you think you need to let your hair grow out before you're actually gonna be able to go get it braided again?
Another 6 months.
6 months. So like
summertime.
summertime.
Needs to have it down to at least like here.
Yeah, another 6 months. That's what I'm gonna give it.
When I did this shit, bro, I'm about to show you.
What?
When I was in my sophomore year.
What the fuck?
Can you hear?
What the fuck just happened?
Do you have it on?
Yes. On.
Oh shit! What about this?
Maybe the cord or something.
Yeah, maybe try to plug.
What about now?
Oh shit!
Can you hear ours?
Yeah.
Ours is fine.
Yeah, yours is fine. Wait, let's see where.
We're
What
good.
happened?
We're taking over.
Let's try this again.
What about now?
Oh,
It's like static radio.
Hasn't that happened before though?
Mic check.
Something like that. But what it was that these gauges were all out of whack.
Mic check.
There it is. Okay, back to
Just
the
had
story.
to beat it a couple times.
So my sophomore year for track photos, that's when 2016 is when Lil Yachty really hit the scene.
Yeah.
And he had the red beads.
Uh-huh.
I had the little dreads at the same time, kind of like him. And I wanted to try
Let's see.
green beads. Hold on.
I feel like I've seen them before.
Yeah, I remember that phase in high school. It was a good phase.
It's a blurry picture because I screenshotted it.
Shit.
But I had my grandma try it out one night, and my mama didn't know. Nobody knew that I had track pictures the next day.
Yeah.
But I literally put green beads in my hair, and they wouldn't stay in, so I would wrap little pieces of aluminum foil around the end so they would stay.
Hell yeah.
But my mama paid for my track pictures that year, and I had showed up to track pictures with green beads.
And she was pissed.
She probably was so mad.
She was beyond pissed.
Really?
There was nothing she could do about it. And Winkler ended up saving that year's photo because I think we won conference boys and girls or some shit like that. So that picture is up of that group or whatever, and it's just me dead smack in the middle with green beads in my hair.
That's a little fucked up that you had to do them like that.
But a lot of people said stuff, but it was more or less I like your hair instead of that didn't fit my aesthetic because that literally I'm probably one of the only people that you would expect to show up with some stupid shit like that in my hair. Let's be real, and it not be out of the ordinary.
Yeah,
you know
we
what
wouldn't
I mean?
really care.
Exactly. So I literally walked around like that. For
Look at
days.
your pants, bro.
They're cool though.
Y'all
Look
literally
at you.
before I even got here, 2 or 3 people had already what kind of pants you got?
At the fucking gas station.
Yeah, well, at the gas station one. Then I think when I got out of the car, Seth asked me, "Did you?"
I think I did. Yeah.
And then when we went and got Alex was like, "What kind of pants do you got on?"
I don't blame her. I would
walk through the door, and Sierra was like,
"What the fuck are you wearing?"
She was like, "I like your pants," and you was like, I don't know if I fuck with that. Yeah.
I don't know if I do.
That's
I mean,
just our two different personalities. Though.
It's just
off the pants.
I guess.
But they draw the attention that you could say that you don't like them, but you looked at them.
Hey, I did, and I did have a comment on them.
Mm-hmm. You commented.
I see what you're saying.
Exactly.
All publicity is good publicity, isn't it?
No. That's where you went left with it.
What were you about to say?
I think yeah.
You think all publicity is good publicity?
There's some people who are known for being ugly or dumb, but they still got publicity. They're still making money.
They're known for being ugly and dumb,
or something.
That's what
that.
they get. That's what they. Yeah.
That audiobook I'm listening to, that Laws of Power book, talked about that being good
The
publicity.
Laws of Power is a whole podcast on its own.
Yeah, yeah.
Have you heard the Laws of Power?
I haven't listened to the whole thing.
48.
48 Laws of Power.
A sequel to it.
It's a long book.
Yeah.
There's 48 Laws of Power to go
Yep.
through.
My buddy Caleb that was at the bonfire last weekend that we was at, he was telling me about him reading that book, and he started they make a book after that. Do you know what it's called? It's got 48 Laws of Power, and then the next book is
The Art of Seduction.
Yeah.
No, I don't think it's that one.
No, that's the it's by the same guy.
Same author.
It's the same author, yeah.
That's a good book,
and Laws of Nature.
Yeah, the however many laws of nature or whatever.
Yeah.
He said he was into that one now.
Yeah, those are the 3 that Robert Greene wrote.
You read all 3 of them, haven't you?
No, I read The Art of Seduction and 48 Laws of Power.
You did a podcast on the seduction one, didn't you?
No.
I feel like we've talked about that before.
I don't know.
Or maybe
I said
you
that I was
just
gonna
showed
do.
me the book.
I was gonna do a little
A
course.
segment.
Yeah, I was gonna do a little course of sexual dynamics.
That's what it was.
That's the next intermission video you're gonna make, ain't it?
Yeah, well, it's gonna be a whiteboard lesson.
Do you have a whiteboard?
Yeah, I got a whiteboard in there.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's a
Yeah,
big
bro.
one.
That's what I've been doing. The how to get your fucking life together on.
That's crazy, bro. You remember when I used to ride around? I'd come over to Brad's
With the whiteboard.
Yeah, I'd always
I remember that
I used
shit.
to always have a giant whiteboard with me, and I have all my stuff I wanted to do for the whole week. And I'd have a bunch of books.
He really did.
I used to bring a bunch of books and a bunch of a big ass whiteboard. People would be like, I'd be carrying around, all right, guys, I'll see y'all later. And I'd be leaving. You'd be like, what's on your whiteboard? Like, I gotta work out this today. Read for 2 hours. Do this or that.
At least you had your plan set and it was with you constantly.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
That was a cool time. That was back in 2018.
He did always keep that whiteboard. What are you doing, Lyndon?
liquor.
It's like an important video. And he's talking about liquor.
Fuck the liquor. Here's a tequila.
So why can't ugly bitches be treated the same as just regular ass cute bitches?
Say that one more time.
See, we're gonna go ahead and go through it. That's what we was talking about earlier. Why can't ugly bitches be treated like regular ass cute bitches?
They can. It's just a social standard that goes into everything that we do on a daily basis. Like what we choose to absorb is what comes out of us as like our preferences. You know what I'm saying? Like humans as consumers in this day and age, we consume so much that like all we do is compare life to the image that we choose to see. You know what I mean? And that's the reason why I think so. Because just Alex will better explain it when she comes in here, but she was saying that like personality is hard to get to, but like some ugly people, you'll realize if you do get that far as to learning them or their personality, they come off more attractive than the image because you can connect with them a lot better. So it's really based off of feeling.
Yeah, go ahead.
What's the topic?
He was saying, why do ugly women get treated less better than, the normal?
You can put those headphones completely on so you don't have to hold them.
And I never will. And I know you can see.
Damn.
I don't know. I think it's a historical thing, right? Like pretty privilege has historically always been a thing.
Literally.
If you look at pictures of authors like Shel Silverstein, he's ugly as fuck, but we love
his stories.
Where the sidewalk ends, right? It's like there's something that at the end of the day, like your eyes are bigger than your stomach, are bigger than your heart. So I think we like to look at pretty things, but our hearts like to beat for like cool things. Like
what do you mean?
Like I had this sweater in high school that I loved because it was so fucking ugly. I couldn't stand it. And my friends hated it because it was so ugly. And I got rid of it. And every day I miss it so much. Like, even though it was the ugliest sweater in the world, it made me happy.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, like, it's like that Vine that's like, she is very beautiful to me. Like, fuck what other people think. Like, that shit is beautiful no matter what.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
I think, like, even if you see somebody... Not that you think that way of somebody, but if you see somebody living in that way, it's attractive in itself. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like the pants thing. Yeah. You might not like them. Like, a lot of y'all might not like them. Sierra likes them, though. I fuck with them. You know what I mean? So, I'm going to wear them. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to wear them
but also at the same time, if you wear a pair of pants... And then everybody around you's like, I don't fuck with those pants. Like, everybody around you's like, I don't fuck with those pants. Then eventually you're going to be getting in your head and you're going to be like,
I shouldn't wear these pants.
I shouldn't wear these pants because nobody around me fucks with them.
But then you're going to miss those pants. Like, that's the same thing with the sweaters.
Yeah, but then it's going to change your perspective on the pants as well.
Right. You're like, they're not pretty, but it's like, do I still like them? Like, you question your own judgment.
Exactly.
That's what I was saying. That pretty much answers the whole entire question when I was saying, like, what we view on social media, and just like we was talking about, even in porn, what you long to have, what you see, or what the people around you or what you consume tells you is best or better. You know what I mean? So it's like, so
basically, what you're saying is that it's a societal thing. I think that's what you were saying too. It's a societal thing.
And I think it comes down to you realize like other people's opinion don't matter, and it's like things that old people say all the time that you're like, yeah, whatever, grandma. But like at some point it starts to mean something to you. Yeah,
it makes sense. Just like you were saying, everybody around me is gonna start saying, I don't like that they don't fuck with my pants. Either I'm gonna change my pants, or I'm gonna find the people that do like my pants, and I'm gonna hang around the people that like my pants.
Same style type store.
Yeah, but it's one of those things that like maybe they don't fuck with your pants, but they fuck with you for who you are. So then they're not gonna care about what pants you have.
Yeah, it's not gonna change the relationship or the dynamic at all because my personality overrides what I have on.
I see what you're saying.
I'm not for everybody.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it is but because you aren't for everybody, it is kind of important to figure out if you're not for. Like, you got to kind of be open to everything to find out what you don't like. You know what I mean? with arms wide open.
Like trial and error.
Yeah. Like you gotta be fond of the fat bitches too. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I will. It's life, bro. Trial and error. Things change. Feelings change. People change too.
And fat, not as derogatory. Like, I think that's a good thing about the current age is that it's like we can be fat or skinny, but that doesn't mean beautiful or not beautiful. Like, it's not.
Yeah, but isn't there an objective standard to beauty?
Yes.
Yes. No, subject. as in people think what they want to think, but I don't think there is an objective standard.
So do you don't think that beauty is objective?
Because objective means that it doesn't. Objective means
subjective means that it's your feelings.
Yeah.
Objective means that it's science.
And it's all.
Definitely
there's
not
no
science.
science behind.
Yes, there is.
No,
who was it? Was it
Yes,
Dolly?
there is.
Wait a minute.
I swear to God.
Marilyn Monroe.
Boy, here we
Is
go.
that the one who had the affair with John F. Kennedy?
Yeah.
Okay, so Marilyn Monroe was considered to be one of the prettiest women of her time. And now in this day and age, you can point out a lot of things or a lot of flaws that a lot of people would say aren't pretty. You know what I'm saying? She wasn't the skinniest girl. She had tits and like she had stretch marks on her ass, you know, shit like that.
And even farther back than that, like medieval times, bigger women were pretty because it's like you had the money to
medieval times.
Medieval,
Yeah, no.
and
I was actually about to bring
that
that up. That's crazy that you brought it up because I thought about
What
that.
about corsets?
Oh.
Those can't.
Let's see what you guys say because I have nothing to
That's just a
comment.
particular swag, though. Corsets
That's
are.
like the Renaissance.
Okay, so why would they even make corsets?
Larger women can have curves, like you can have tummy and.
But why would they
boobs and
even?
voluptuous.
Why would they even make
Voluptuous.
corsets though?
It's a trend, bro. Kind of like the clothes that we wear.
I think
Is it?
corsets were more of
Bro.
like a purity thing than they were like an aesthetic thing. I think
A
it's like
purity thing?
I think the layers were more for like you were just supposed to have that many layers. It was less of like an aesthetic thing and more of like this is
So
just
it wasn't to make their waist skinnier?
Yeah. For some people, listen though. This is why I say this. I think it is all subjective, but there's a trend always. You know what I'm saying? Like, at some point in times, it's skinny bitches.
Yeah.
Here, I remember it wasn't a few years ago. Thick girls were the thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, considerable thick girls. Some of them would be borderline. Right now, they would call them fat. You know what I'm saying? But it's subjective.
I'm talking about like in history, like human history. It's for the most part been objective because, for example, like the symmetry, the facial. No, in biology is all in biology too. Because basically, like, what's up?
Like the same thing with like you were saying with it being through history, like with skinny women. For men looking at women, if you are skinny, you have a flat stomach, you know that she's not with a man.
No, see, it's not really.
It could be that.
It goes
back
from
in the day. They had analogies of that sort.
I mean, okay, I'll give you
We
that,
can
but-
sit up here and conjugate some other shit just like that.
No, I'm saying like on a biological perspective. Men are gonna want, say, just for example, we're gonna go with the hips. Like they want the waist to hip ratio. They want the hips bigger than the waist, so that they call them birthing hips, right? So men are more attracted to that biologically because they know after time and time and time again, like evolution, they are able to see within that woman that they are better for giving birth because of the waist. They call them birthing hips, if you know what I'm saying.
I think it's less
Like
about
women,
the waist
their
and more about the hips.
Their hips
You said
widen after they have children.
Less about the waist and more about the hips. And thick women do have bigger hips than they do waist.
Yeah, but I'm not saying by thick
Women
too.
that have had birth, it's proven that
I'm talking
their
hips are always going to be
wide,
bigger than your. For a woman, 99.9%.
Like the bottle shape though.
You're going to have that shape. That's how women are naturally built.
Yeah, but a lot of the times the hips are bigger, but a lot of times, especially now, whenever the obesity rate is way up, they're also going to have the waist and the hips big. And then that's not going to be as sexually attractive to a man than
maybe
like
not
we
to
were saying.
a man, but I'm always here. Any obese women listening, hit me up.
Damn. But
I don't judge. I like all hips and waists.
I would like
But
to
what
say the
about
same
some
thing
women-
myself.
Some women that
you're just trying to
aren't.
stay safe.
What about some
No.
women that aren't big, but they're not curvy either. Like, you know how some
What do you
skinny
mean?
girls are built like a square?
Like a straight line.
What I'm saying
Yeah.
is that it's
But you can't
objective
always
too,
see
because the
your
majority of
defined
men are
curves.
still gonna find the woman that looks like she's more fit attractive than the one that doesn't look like she's fit. That's what I'm trying to say.
Talking about the majority of men not being attractive, though.
That is true.
Okay,
I hate to,
see,
I will not.
yeah.
I will say
And that is a thing
because
too.
we've grown up as like I hate, and it's not real because some women do like rugged. I hate to say ugly, but like blue collar men, and a lot of blue collar men aren't really ugly.
Yeah.
we just don't. A lot of men in this day and age, and even in the past day and age, don't know how to take care of themselves.
Yeah,
You
definitely.
weren't taught to have.
Yeah, a lot of
to,
times
and
you're
I-
not
I-
taught hygiene and stuff like that. You have to learn that on your own.
Like I've just recently started like
Even with
mixing and
skincare
dibbling
sort of
and
stuff.
dabbling, and I, bro, I'm about to be 23 in a month, and I've never used a skincare product like on my face.
That makes me sad.
All I do is wash my face with water.
That makes
Yeah,
me sad.
you
I think I
But
should
moisturize,
to be fair,
like,
like,
exfoliate.
I have pimples right now, but like I've never really dealt with like major breakouts and all that good stuff, which thank God. But like there's some guys that don't know what to do about it. They don't know where
Yeah.
to ask questions
And see, I wasn't saying that the standard just applies to women too, because it applies to both sexes, both parties. But the thing is that nowadays it's so far out for both of them, because like I said, that men do want to find, they want to find the more fit woman,
Right.
and women also want to find the more fit man.
That's fair.
See, but the thing is nowadays is that
It's harder to
with now society now, especially with social media, it's harder to
it
find.
changes.
Yeah,
every
the
day.
standard does change,
Right.
but
There's so many
there's still the
standards to fit
same
in.
standard there, objective standard, like I was talking to you about. There's still the same objective standard that has been there for
Oh,
thousands of
like
years.
the top G, like what would be considered the top male? You know what I mean?
Exactly, like it's
I
a
get what- I get
standard.
what he's
It's a
saying.
beauty standard for both parties, but now it's just so far out that it's kind of hard
all
for
unobtainable.
It's
Yeah.
basically it's unrealistic.
And that,
So
yeah.
like a woman wants a 6'6". They want the 6-figure male, 6 foot and 6-pack. Exactly. But see, the thing is that the majority of men aren't going to have all of that there. That's
have two.
that's
the
5%.
majority of the men have two.
That's
Okay.
why five
Or
or
one.
actually 1% of the men are able to have 99% of the women, and kind of vice versa, kinda.
So
Conclusion. Yeah. What's the?
I'm the
I would say
conclusion
the
that I was
conclusion would
coming
be
to.
try to
just
become the best version
understanding.
of yourself as you can.
Understanding.
Exactly.
Yeah.
See, that's what I would say, but I was also arguing the fact that there is an objective version of beauty.
Like when you say trying to be the best, he's saying like when you say try to be the best person that you can be, there is the best person that we're chasing is the top. Like the top two.
Right.
Look,
His-
trust
You're
me.
just
If you
saying-
try to
you're
focus
saying
on
that
being the
has
best
never
person of
changed.
yourself,
You said
like,
what?
best version
You're
you can be,
saying
you'll
that
be fine.
the top version, the top standard has never changed.
It's never
It's just
changed.
what
It's always
everybody
been the same
chases.
throughout human history.
I think there's been like trends, low key, but like because
Of
Greeks
course.
were running around naked, But the thing is, like Greeks were like they
They
were
were
with the
trying to
6
be
packs, but
the-
they weren't with the 6 inches. They were
Yeah.
like, we want to be ripped, but we don't want to have big
Yeah,
weenies.
they're-
So,
But you
Okay.
got to think
No,
about
see-
that too. You can't do an exercise or like you kind of can now, but like
Uh-huh.
it's still you can't do too much to change the size of your weenie. Just like
No,
we were
you
talking
really
earlier,
can't. You really
you can't
can't.
change the way your coochie looks. You
Right.
know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
And they come in so many. You
See,
can't
that's why
particularly
you
say
need
she's
to-
got an ugly looking coochie
Yeah, but
because
and
there's
that
probably
goes
so many thousands in the world with
that
the
goes
same
back to-
looking motherfucker.
that goes back to fat people too. Fat people can do something about it.
well,
You
I
can't do nothing about your wee wee or your coochie though. Is what I'm saying.
You do hear a
Yeah,
lot
that's
about
true.
how there are like a lot of like diseases and
It might
issues
closer.
and like and things that's like where like you can't help like physical disabilities, but I do think a lot of people who are overweight can help it. But it's
Yeah.
like, are there things in society that work against them that make it harder
Yeah.
to fix it?
Oh,
It makes it harder, but
that goes
that's why
into
you
it.
can. That's why you need to be more disciplined.
You got to
Control the
be more
controllables.
disciplined, but it's
Exactly.
almost like this is the thing. Just like I was telling you earlier, there's some white people that grow up around predominantly black people.
Yeah.
and for somebody that like, if I was to grow up, a lot of people say this: I'm whitewashed. You know what I'm saying? And they say I act white or I'm out there in a way, which is not it. You know what I'm saying? I don't act. I'm just in tune with what I like, I think. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But just like that, it's pretty much what I grew up around. You know what I'm saying? Like, for somebody that grew up in an obese family and, like, eating is not necessarily a tradition, but, like, a delicacy in their family. Like, they eat well. They're going to naturally grow up bigger, and that's just something that they know. So when they grow up and they have to meet that social standard of you're too fat or you're too big, they have to focus on how to change that first of all. And you know how hard it is to break change of something that you literally have known your whole entire life?
But health class is mandatory.
Health class is mandatory, but do you nobody in health class is going to come up to you and say, "Hey, you're fat, and I'm teaching you everything to not be fat, and this is why."
I mean, basically, they do, not as direct as what you're saying, but
it should be that direct if that's the result you want to get out.
Yeah, I mean, people do. The thing is that people know what they need to do, but it's the fact of them doing it. Are they actually going to do it or not? Because most people are. Because you saying that's basically saying like those people are ignorant, and they're not able to do it because they don't know. See, that's not right, because
they
people
should be open to learn more and
I like
do
to
better.
believe that people are ignorant. That's what I like to be. I like to believe that people
Until they
have
prove
the
you
benefit
other.
of the doubt.
Right.
But by saying that somebody
If you
don't know no better, then that's basically saying that they're
cop-out.
ignorant.
That's a cop-out,
Exactly.
yeah.
But people know better. It's just the fact that they're not disciplined enough to do it. So that's why they need to be
discipline. The term
it's hard.
discipline
it's not
goes
saying
a long way,
and
bro.
and it is harder for others than it is, for other
instance,
people.
I'll put it this way: you remember he was in your grade.
Huh.
I don't want to say no particular names, but one of the bigger dudes on the football. Okay, Dula.
Yeah.
He was a bigger dude,
Uh-huh.
right? And he knew that. Everybody correlated him to being bigger, and he knew that.
Yeah, he knew that.
And we started. I remember we was on the football team, and they wanted to try to watch his weight a little bit more, and they were, and he lost a good amount of weight.
Yeah, I remember him
and
telling
he
me about
stopped.
that.
And I remember one of our teachers, like in a classroom during lunch, he was in there, and he was like, he said it in front of everybody. He was like, "Look, you're obese, you're big as fuck, and if you don't change that, you're gonna die at a very young age. And I really don't want to see that happen to you. And these people in here don't want to see that happen to you." Which is true. That is something that he probably did need to hear. But he heard that in that environment, and it fucked him up. He started crying.
Did they like pull him to the side and was
brought
like,
him back to reality?
Damn, they just said
it in front of the whole
He
class.
said it wasn't like a class. It was smart lunch, and like all the kids was in that particular classroom for smart lunch, and he said it in front of all of the kids, like he said it in a joking manner because the teacher thought he could just like get it off his chest and like the way everything like it just roll off, but it really hurt his feelings, and we are all like, you were fucked up for saying that.
Yeah.
And like he wanted to go back on what he had said and try to apologize, but it was true.
Yeah.
But he, like it wasn't just something that he could take away because that fact, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And for a little bit, that motivated Caleb to do more. But it also affected him negatively because he always thought about how everybody thought of him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
Like he probably wasn't thinking about it that much until somebody said it to him directly.
He was proud for us to be happy that he was doing something, and that was all that mattered. Not that we thought that he was gonna die if he didn't do it, like it was a life or death situation.
Yeah.
And that it mentally took a toll on him, and we could see it visually.
Yeah.
And I think because of that reason, like that's the reason why nothing changes immediately, because you can't just go out here and be like, "Look, you're fat and you need to change this."
Yeah.
And it's such a touchy, like these flaws that you can point out are such a touchy situation that they'll never get fixed, because if that was the case, mental health would go straight down the drain like it is right now as we speak.
What do you mean?
Nobody knows how to communicate or talk to each other, so we feel like we can handle it or take care of it ourselves. And for a lot of men more than women, I can say this, they don't want to reach out to an outlet and find something that, or even try to find somebody that understands them on a different level.
But if people go against what they're like you said from the beginning, if somebody was raised a certain way, if they weren't, if the people around them from the beginning was pushing the people that are going down a certain path to not go down that path, then they're not going to go down that path from the beginning. That's why it's so important to talk about it from the beginning, and that goes back to what you were saying. Like that's why I had like I kind of have like a problem whenever people say like, whenever they are essentially affirming
that there's an excuse,
being fat.
Oh no, I don't think there's excuse for a lot of. There's some people. I'm saying like that's what I meant. Is like there's a small population of people who like they really do have a medical excuse.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I just think there's a lot of things that like work against people who are already disadvantaged.
But the exception to the rule is not the rule. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
And but it also like if you're like, okay, you know, if that goes back to like if guys or girls accept by having a standard of accepting things that are not healthy and are being okay with everybody not being healthy, then that means that the majority of society is not going to be healthy as a whole going forward.
Yeah, and I agree. I think it's the majority of society, like not even bigger people or skinnier people. Like, you know, even me personally, I don't have the healthiest. Like, it's just because I'm skinny that like people would say, looking at me, oh, she's healthy. But like, I have just as bad habits as somebody who weighs like 100, 200, 300 pounds more than me. Like, it's just about the visualness of it, but I'm just as unhealthy as any other 20-year-old that I know.
I think that it has to do with realistically, like I was saying, and it kind of goes back on it. You can grow up with a certain knowledge that has been taught or given to you, and that changes the whole spectrum of like you saying you have to be taught that at an early age. You can't rely on that. You kind of have to, and it goes back to self-reliance. Like you kind of got to get to a age or a state or a position in your life where you're like, damn, I'm not happy being big, or I'm not happy in the position that I'm in. And
nobody's coming to save you. You have to be a participant in your own rescue.
Yeah. But
David Goggins.
Yeah.
Exactly. And what I was saying too is that like it also takes the people around you as well.
Yeah,
like
support,
who you hang out with also gonna have a big effect on it.
Like going back to like your pants, like going back under your pants. Like say your pants are fucking up your legs. Just for example,
right?
You know what I'm saying? Like your pants are fucking up your legs, and the people around you don't like your pants, and it's fucking up your legs, but you like your pants. But
I shouldn't go against that just because that's how I feel. I should see the better side and be like,
exactly,
my legs are fucked up, and they're pointing. They already don't like the shit.
Exactly.
I get what you mean.
Yeah.
I get what you mean.
Hell yeah.
Damn.
So what about poor people? Did they fall in the same category of saving themselves? And this is not to I don't like actually want to know.
I will say that
for
because I ain't gonna like. I say that me or my family or my circumstance, we would consider or fit in the poor people. You know what I mean? And I talked to this guy that I started cleaning carpets with, who had his own company, and he came from a mom that didn't want him and a dad that had left, and he ended up living with a guy in his neighborhood that just took care of him and showed him things. And he was big on like, just because you were poor, you doesn't mean you weren't born with a purpose. And he was explaining that like, poor is just something that you were born with it. You know what I mean? And there's a thing called chain breakers, or like family. What is it called? Like your family is used to this, and then you're the person.
You can change the direction of it.
Yeah, you change the direction of your family within yourself.
Yeah, and the cool thing is like during this, like you have the internet at your disposal, so you have so much information. Like say if you're like in a lower income or middle income, you have a lot of resources at your disposal to if that's what you want, you can achieve that. And like you know, it would have to come down to. You'd have to have like a compelling vision for why you'd want that. Maybe so that way you can afford to send your kids to college.
Right. And for me, like for instance, because I was poor, or like some people that are poor, they get this mindset in their head that there are people and things that can get them by, first of all. And then second of all, they have this mindset, they're like, oh, I'm poor. I was born with nothing. I don't have nothing.
Yeah, poor is a mindset.
It's like a mindset.
It is. It's a poor mind. Like you keep a poor mindset if you like I said, you grow up being poor. You don't know what else to do except be poor until you grow up and you hit the real world and you realize that because everybody was poor in your life and it affected you as a kid, you're an adult now, and those poor decisions don't affect you to have a poor lifestyle.
Yeah, and it's up to you at that point. You can become the person that changes the direction for your family tree.
You can realize that even beforehand.
Like somebody could have like a lot of money, but they can still be
And
poor
they can still-
in mindset,
in
and they can
mindset.
still be broke in a mindset.
You could, like, for
And
example,
vice versa.
And like, for example, you could have like a rich family, and the kid be spoiled, and then once he inherits the wealth, he just they'll
Be
squander.
poor because they don't know how to make money.
Yeah,
or
it
keep
squanders it all and
What
doesn't
about-
manage it well.
What about like if you are poor as a child but you don't know it? Like your parents still spoil you.
Like
in
they
a
hide
way.
it.
Like they're good at hiding it because
Mom-
that's how I was because I was an only kid. And my mom, I mean, she worked hard and everything, but she made sure that I didn't know that she was
Right,
poor.
right. Because it's
Yeah.
something as an adult that you want to kind of hide from your
Yeah.
kids because you don't ever.
You don't
them
want your
not
kids to
have.
think that the stress amount
Things
about
aren't
that sort of
attainable.
thing.
Yeah.
Like my
And
mom
I mean,
even had to talk
sometimes,
to me about that.
She'd like, I'd want something, and she'd be like, we'd have to wait a little bit. Like, she never told me no, but if she told me no, obviously
the
it was for a
understanding.
good reason, and I didn't know it.
And that's what helped me realize that I can break those chains because I did come from like a poor background, but to me, I didn't seem poor. You know what I'm saying? Now that I've gotten older and I realize that everything falls on me, I realize that like you either meet a standard or you exceed a standard.
Yeah.
And the goal is to exceed the standard to break those chains. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not like you were born not knowing any better because you know that you need necessities or you wouldn't make it that far.
Yeah.
So the bigger philosophical question, like what y'all are saying with people in poverty, obese people, mental health issues, regardless, it's less about the system or the position you're born into. It's about what you do with it. It's about who you are as a person.
How do you feel about the position you're in, and what do you feel that you can do, and are you mentally strong enough?
Are you
go
asking about
doing
like
that?
equity?
Yeah, like social, like that's what I'm saying. Is like, what do y'all think matters more? Is like what position you're born into, or what you do with it.
What you do with it? Because
Yeah.
like the majority of like you hear all the time about the millionaires, and actually the majority of immigrants that are millionaires came from nothing. They were born in this
Self-made
country
in a way.
Yeah, they were
Right.
100% self-made. They came from their parents brought them from their country, and then they were born with nothing. And then you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like what you're saying, Sierra, is like maybe I wasn't rich, but I never knew that I wasn't. Like that's more important.
Yeah, it's definitely a mindset that you have to have.
Or even like you saying like about the immigrants and stuff. I work with a lot of Hispanic families who are not families, but men who like they've come to America to make money. And I know one specific guy that I work with. They work from like 9 a.m. to
Endless.
9 p.m.
They're very hard
sometimes
workers.
later.
Like,
And they're
They be
there-
on hard drugs,
They're
but
there
they be
6
working.
days a week and only get
Cocaine.
1 day off.
Yeah.
The one guy
No,
that I
meth.
talked to,
God
Good
damn.
God.
he has
All right.
he has a kid
They
and then
do.
he has another kid with another woman that he's married to now, but they don't live in the United States.
He sends money.
He sends money over to
Yeah.
them, but he has money.
He doesn't have
He
to either.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
has money. The thing is, though, because we've talked about it, like specifically, he has money. Like he makes good money off of where he works, and he works 2 jobs.
He just does the extra because
But
he has
acts,
a family.
he acts like he's poor because he has big goals in mind that he knows that he doesn't want to do this for the rest of his life.
At my old job as an electrician, we used to work with a lot of Hispanics. My boss used to literally help Hispanics illegally cross the border from Texas so they could come and work for him because it was a lot cheaper. But they explained to us like they would
Exploitation, but
they would literally explain to us like they would see us or the white men that they were working around or the American people that they were working around us complain about our job and all that stuff. And I remember one that was he had came from Mexico 6 years ago. My boss took care of him, paid for him to go to school, got his residency, all that good shit, and he has a wife and all that. Anyway, I was complaining around him. He was like, "Why are you complaining about like your position in the world where you are now?" He was like, "Listen, you're in America. You can literally have and do anything that you want.
Exactly.
You have the opportunity of a lifetime." And I was just like, when he said that to me, I couldn't respond because he is telling the truth.
Yeah.
For real. That's why I have such a big problem with people complaining about America and how the system
Yeah.
is. But I mean, yeah, the system may be fucked up to an extent, but there's no.
It could be
no better system.
It could be way worse.
Yeah, there's no better system in the world.
Worse.
I mean, it may be fucked up, but there's literally no better system in the world because.
Think, why did our ancestors come here?
Yeah, why would anybody immigrate here?
I've heard Iceland's got a good government. I ain't gonna lie. I mean,
but do you hear people
peacefully though? Like when it comes down to money and all that good stuff, you are definitely going to be taken care of here more than these other countries. But when it comes down to like, I feel like when it comes down to like actually like keeping the peace and being morally right, a lot of countries do have it kind of figured out a little bit better than we do.
But how many? Okay, but are people immigrating from here to there?
I would like to think so.
I don't ever hear that.
You wouldn't hear that because we're Americans. We have free will to like we can get a passport in America and have free will to go anywhere we want to. And it's not a problem.
And then we're still going to come back here.
Yeah, but it's not a problem.
Like a little bit trapped almost. Like it's a mindset thing. Like
it is.
You could go somewhere else, but you don't feel like you can.
These other places, because we feel so high and mighty. These other places feel like it is a treasure to come here. Like it is. But we literally, like, I would feel like I remember when you went to Hawaii, you keep all your memorabilia because you feel like it was a treasure to go there.
Yeah, it was an experience for sure.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
Not necessarily that you would stay or live there, but like I know.
Oh well, I mean,
and that's what I'm saying. If you could attain it, you probably would.
Hey, Hawaii's in America.
But Hawaii is like stupid expensive, all that good shit. But I've heard of people that are in California that border Mexico. And they are literally, because America is a good economy and all that good jazz. But like the laws and the peace in other countries are better. That they get remote jobs and move right across the border, which I know like the laws and stuff in Mexico probably aren't like good at all compared to ours and shit. But they're living peacefully in another country off of American currency and money and all that good shit, but they would much rather not live in America and go straight across the border and live peacefully and make their money from
that's
America.
also probably because they're living in California.
So it's literally just the money. You know, money, when it comes down to money, that's where we're divided, because America is so much bigger than all these other countries that have to come together to be us.
The big part, that's something that I think about a lot, is like, I think, and that's why people say like other European countries' systems of governments, or
I need to get the mic a little closer.
Sorry, like other country stuff wouldn't work in our country because we're so big and they're so small. So like that's something I think about a lot. Is it not that we're so big and that's why like we have so many issues? It's hard to make so many people happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like,
the U.S. has like the third highest population on the planet.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, our country's only been around for, well, constitutionally wise, like less than 250 years.
Yeah.
The other two countries that have a higher population have been around for thousands of years.
Yeah.
And that's mostly because a lot of people have immigrated to here. And if you look at through like the different years and decades,
what are those countries? Would it be England and Africa?
What do you say? Older countries in America?
No, he's saying what are those? We're the third highest population. What are the other two?
Population
China and India.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because we have like 300
or India, then China.
Close to 350 million people, and then you have India, which it had. Well, India is actually the most populous country now.
Yeah,
around like India and China are like around like 1.4 billion.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure our GDP is bigger than both.
Bigger than both combined,
and they're not happy like most people in India and China because like they're going.
India is like I'm pretty sure like India they're
doing good.
India's
they're doing good.
We used to do a lot of mission trips to India,
they
but
might
like
have money, but are their general populations happy?
I think India. Yeah.
I don't think so because we used to do a lot of Christian ministries.
They have more wellness
in India, and they would explain that like the reason that their country is divided is because of religion.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the reason.
Well, there's so many different different cultures and languages in that country. And there's so many people, and there's such a diverse history. Same thing with China. Like if you go and like read about the history of China, like it's been around for thousands of years, but it used to be like fragmented in these different kingdoms and stuff. And sometimes they'd have like times of disorder where there'd be like 10 different kingdoms.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of people in China, like 1.4 billion people, and same thing with India, it's like 1.4 billion people. Really deep histories and everything like that. And so it's hard to like look at the whole country and be like, is this really like a united country, or is this just like for 100 years they might be together, and then like 100 years from now they might be like three different countries there.
Yeah, and see the wellness for America too is because we're like the richest country in the world, and because
this goes into
by
geopolitics
by
too, which I know
GDP, but also because the majority of people in America have more money than anywhere else, and so then they're able to be lifted out of poverty. Yes, there's always going to be a poverty rate in any country ever, but in this case, even the poor people here are richer than the upscale people in third world countries.
Like if you're a working class person here, maybe like making $40K.
Like only if you moved there though. Like people making $40K aren't going to be rich here, but if you move to another country and made $40K,
your currency exchange would buy you a lot more stuff.
And somewhere else. Yeah.
And so sometimes people will move if they can work like from home, they'll move to a whole other country because their whole quality of living will move up. Like yes, if they might be making $50K, but in this country I can live like I'm making $200K.
Right. So remote work, how do we feel about that? Are we remote workers or are we office bitches?
Both.
What I'm doing is kind of, I don't know.
Why can't you just do both?
Like remote is okay in the sense, but then you're not getting that social time that you need.
You definitely need
as a human being.
Yeah,
for sure.
Do you like being in the post office, or do you wish you could work from home, Lyndon? Like, do you wish you could do something remote, or do you like having
that is a very broad question, because me as a person, I would say I don't like my job at the post office sometimes because I don't feel like I do enough in itself. So like being at home and working, I don't feel like that would benefit me either, because if I'm going to do some type of work, I feel like I have to be actively doing it. You know what I'm saying? And that's where it differs for some people.
And you have to be around people.
I'm just thinking back to when I was in school during COVID. Like I was remote for so long, and half the time I didn't even do most of my
That's
work.
why I dropped out of college.
Because I knew like I could just put this down and do it later, and it's really not going to matter.
Yeah, COVID was like a really interesting thing.
Doing something else, and then come back and sit at my computer for an hour.
They literally made it to where like it wasn't even that like you were actually learning and doing the work on the computer. They literally made it to where you were spending the same amount of time on the computer doing the work that you would spend in the classroom. So you would spend,
and it was busy work.
Yeah, just busy
like,
work.
This is bullshit.
So it'd be like 6 to 8 hours of you just sitting on a computer clicking different shit. You know what I'm saying? And for people that like are more prone to doing things or seeing things and using their hands, or like being in a classroom setting, working in that way is actually really, really hard, because it's like being in the office all day. Just sometimes sitting in the classroom and listening is hard for some people.
But then like think about it, we were all raised to sit in a classroom for 8 hours and do all that. But then like I think so my nieces and nephews are homeschooled, and they do practically what we did online. They sit at their computers for an hour, they get up and get a 30-minute break, then maybe they'll go play outside for a little bit, then they'll come back in and they'll do a different subject for an hour. Right. And then they do that for the first 2 hours when they wake up, and then they're done for the rest of the day.
Right. But they could fit their whole entire shit though in 2 or 3 hours of the day.
And then
do you feel like they're getting their proper education? Like,
yeah, I know that they are, because like my sister will definitely make sure that they are.
She ensures it,
yeah.
That's important.
But I worry about their social skills. Like I know that they do a lot of church activities. They go to church and they're all in their little groups and stuff like that. But I feel like there's more that comes to school.
They have to be open to the bad shit too.
Yeah, there's so many different groups of people that you meet in school. That
you have to cipher between
the two. Exactly.
You have to have
and I feel like they're not going to have that.
So, and I think that that's a problem, because realistically, at some point, you do realize that everything is your choice. So when you are introduced to things that we might not understand are really, really bad for us, for people that haven't had that choice or ever had that around them, they're more prone to try it. And like for even when we get older, it gets more scary, because not only are you more prone to try things, you are prone to try more dangerous things that could lead to addiction, or like mentally it could screw the way you think, because there's so many negative things to grasp or cling on to in this world, that if you are nurtured or sheltered, or you're not around a group of people that introduce that shit to you early, you don't know the difference.
Yeah, or even like just think about like how you communicate with your parents. That's all they really get. They get their family that they communicate with, but they don't have another adult that is like over them.
Dude, that would fuck me up, because like let's just say like I hate to say this, but tragedy happens. What if they didn't have that person that they wanted to run to anymore? Let's say like something happened that death was in the family. Mentally, in their mind, that was their go-to their entire life.
Yeah.
Who are they to run to? And if they choose nobody to run to, how are they dealing with those problems?
Yeah, that's like a big thing now whenever people are being taught to be independent instead of being interdependent. It like becomes a big problem because people are really
they don't know the difference.
They don't know
they don't.
Well, the thing is that whenever people are really taught to be independent, they then interpreted it as being isolated to an extent, and then it does make them vulnerable to everything from the outside in.
Because I figure I don't like being independent. I like doing things with people. I like talking to people on the phone.
Like 7 Habits of Highly Effective People talked about that
exactly
in that book.
But
yeah,
like
it's a
when
big
people
one.
text my phone, I have hundreds of unread texts, hundreds of unopened snaps. And shit, because I don't like chit chatting and talking to people.
Yeah, same.
I would rather
face
talk
to face
you on the phone or like you come and see me type shit.
Exactly.
Like, it's weird for me. Like and a lot of people flaw me. They're like, you haven't texted me all day or you haven't talked to me all day. It's not because I don't like you or I don't want to. I would rather call you on the phone and us chit chat until we're tired of talking, and I just call you when I want to.
Yeah, we rarely, if ever, text. I hate texting.
If we want to,
you and me both.
You'll text me and be like, "Are we running a podcast?" And I'll just
like
give you a call.
Yeah, exactly.
And be like, "So what time you want me to be there? What day?"
Exactly.
There's no point in us having this conversation.
Yeah, why the fuck?
You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. It's way better.
And I miss out on talking to a lot of people, or like miss out on a lot of shit that people want to tell me because I don't interact with them in that way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it almost makes a lot of people think that I'm an introvert or I don't like interacting with people, but it's literally not that. When I'm by myself, I enjoy being by myself. If I want your comfort or like if I want your attention, it's as easy as calling you on the phone.
Yeah. And that goes back to like what we was talking about earlier too, about like I was saying, like the sexual dynamics too, whenever it comes to relationships between men and women as well.
They interact differently.
They interact differently, but like I said, there's standards between both of them. And like a lot of times men aren't being the best version of themselves that they can be. So then women are then also taught to
reflect it.
They're also taught to say like, you don't need a man, be independent, and
you
then
don't need to look for what you want out of a man, and then they find it.
Yeah.
And they're so caught up in getting everything that they need and want that they're not open to receiving from a man or like
exactly or vice versa.
Yeah, I've had that problem before, like just not us being able to learn from each other or being able to understand the difference of I'm not telling you to be different or change or do that, but I'm explaining to you that this is a way that can help us interact. You know what I'm saying? It's a fine line in the medium between it. Though.
It really is. And then eventually it just goes down to like both parties. Well, not even that. Just it goes down to both parties just not having anybody. And then now like the loneliness rate is going up. So that's why like the suicide rate is so. You said what?
Because you can't.
The loneliness rate.
The loneliness rate goes up.
There's a different word for it.
That's a good way to put it.
Well,
and then you said suicide rate, and I was like, maybe I should.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It goes hand in hand. There's another word for isolation rate, I guess. So then people are more isolated and more alone. Right. So then you get more cat ladies out there.
I like cats.
Die alone with a cat.
Wrong with that.
That die alone with a cat means that they don't have nobody. It's unfortunate.
It is unfortunate. I actually, my friend Chaley, who Lyndon, I'm sure y'all know maybe, but we have a friend who's 83 years old and she never got married, never had kids.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And we stop by on her all the time, and it's like she knows, like she's so matter of fact about like dying, because you're right, like her loneliness is like it gets to her at a certain age. It's like maybe as a young person loneliness doesn't get to you, but once you get old it's going to hit you.
When you're young you feel like you got all the time in the world, but when you're old it's like
Damn, I
it's like even if you have like a fun, exciting life to go places and stuff, it's more fun to have someone to go do it with and share in the experience if you can.
I've realized that more because I have siblings, you know what I'm saying, and like we've most recently endured like our grandma passing, and like it never really hit us that like we're not gonna be here forever until our grandma did pass, because she really did mean a lot to us. As
she was she like the first person that you were really close to that passed away?
Well, no, I wouldn't say that because my dad passed away when I was 9, but like I didn't really know how to. I didn't know the feelings that came with that, and I was so young that I didn't quite register it until I was at an older age, and then it just kind of came out in anger. But my grandma's situation, her passing, you could tell, like they always say, when your grandma passes, it changes the whole entire family, the whole entire dynamic, and it definitely has. But the more it's made me realize, like I have a brother and a sister that I haven't really been to that close to until here recently, but there's always going to come a day in our lives that either they're going to hear that we're not here anymore, or we're going to hear that they're not here anymore. And we don't pay attention to that as much in the world, because just like he was saying, we think that like life is endless until somebody is gone. But it is important to understand that the people that you do have and that you do kind of care about, like tell them you love them, tell them that you care about them, because I could leave here today and you would never see me again.
Yeah,
you would feel fucked up to know that like I didn't know that you gave a fuck about me. But I'm here. We talk on a frequent basis. You know what I'm saying? Like we do lock in with each other, and we know it's a mutual understanding. But like there probably will be a time in our lives that we don't see each other every day.
It depends on like.
How you feel?
It depends on like a lot of factors, and that's something that you have to take into account. So, I mean,
every relationship is going to end.
Good
or bad.
Every one of them.
All of our ex-girlfriends or past relationships are going to pass, or we're going to pass. You know what I'm saying?
It's either going to end.
Everybody's
like
going to die,
or you're going to die.
Yeah.
So it ends.
You
Everybody's
gotta really
gonna die.
take value in every relationship, whether it be intimate or not intimate. You know
be present in the moment and be thankful. You know.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving, what a time to talk about that than Thanksgiving.
For real.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy that they have one time of the year to really try to point out to be thankful, when you should be thankful every day. Not just because that you're breathing and alive, just thankful that you're able to have relationships with the people you have relationships with.
Life is
For
relationships.
Sure. It really is.
And that
I agree with
honestly
that.
made
You
me
know what
start
book I'm
thinking
talking
about.
Yes,
like,
sir.
my ex was big on not necessarily relationships, but like being nice to everybody. Like me as her boyfriend, I would kind of get pissed off like when she would cross a stranger that was a dude or the opposite sex, and she would just be nice to
Why
them.
the fuck you being so nice?
Like, why are you
I think life is about being nice to people, because it's like not being overly nice, not being like flirty, not being like
you can't change somebody's intentions,
but being nice and kind to somebody is very important. And I think it's like
it goes forever.
you
long.
get put into people's life and to people's past for a reason. Like,
Everything happens for a reason.
Yes, exactly. And you should be nice to everybody that you meet.
If you have time to dwell on it, you have a lesson to be learned.
And what if she had met somebody that was like a producer or a designer or whatever, and she was nice to them and she got you an opportunity?
Yeah, and I thought about
and
it.
And then she fucked them too.
Whoa.
See, and that's always something that people think about, but it's still like you see what I'm saying? But with like, and it is something that you can think about, but at the end of the day, it's not something that you can change. It's not a situation that you can prevent.
It is what it is.
You can prolong it, but at the end of the day, if people's intentions are people's intentions, and if you are just trying to have good intentions in general, regardless of having a relationship with somebody, that's different. But it changes if you are, doing intentions that's the person, you know what I'm saying? And that'll reveal itself instead of looking for it.
Yeah, like example, I have a regular that comes into my work. He's around our age, and I talk to him friendly. I don't talk to him any other way.
Here we fucking go.
I don't talk to him any other way. I've told him about Carson several times and about this podcast, and I got him to add Carson on Snapchat, and Carson hit him up or whatever, and about the podcast, and he was like, "Yeah, we'll see."
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. He's just trying to fuck.
That's not
if
my
he ain't
intention.
Gonna fuck with me,
it's not my fault.
And, okay, well then why are you gonna entertain it?
Because I'm trying to get you people.
I'm trying to get money at my job.
Well, she's smart in the way. She's
Well, I'm trying to
get
help
on it.
you
I had to
out,
look at
and
what
I'm
you're
helping
doing.
myself as well because he gives me.
And
a
see,
better
I understand
tip.
that. That's why
Yeah,
I.
better money and more.
And I'm trying
That's
to
why
help
I
you.
was. That's why I haven't really been really cared that much about it.
But it does, as a man,
But-
you as a man, you have to understand that having a pretty girlfriend or having a female that you like, that if there's any other guy that's your type, that they like the same thing. That
Yeah.
has to be an understanding.
And
but
you got to be
also has
protective
be-
as well too.
You
Well-
got to be protective to an extent, but you
I don't
also
mind the
can't
difference.
block relationships and all that other. Because I have been that guy. My one of my exes had a guy that worked with her that I felt was a way too friendly. Even sometimes when I was around, I felt like he was too friendly, and I vocalized the problem way more than I should have. And they always had. We would call them excuses, but they always had those reasons to be friendly or nice. And thinking back on it, it's like, I'm not going to be deliberately rude to somebody that I work with every day and have to. I have to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I definitely
Because-
understand that.
And I'm not going to do that just because like my partner is afraid that something's going to happen just because.
Yeah,
But like as your partner though, you have to also understand that there's a job at hand.
Right. So
For
what's
sure.
the line? What's the line between overly friendly and just
And see, that's the
friendly?
thing.
see,
I
that's
thought
the thing
overly-
too.
And
That's the
I'm
thing
just
too.
curious.
I thought
Like,
overly
Exactly.
friendly was too much because like I would call her and sometimes they would be watching movies at work because they had like a behind the desk job and they would all be watching.
They'd be watching movies
They would be
behind the
watching
desk.
all
movies.
be watching or just her and him?
It would be
Yeah,
all.
they
like,
wouldn't be
but
watching
that's
the
thing.
movie.
She was sometimes she would be the only girl that would be working, and all her guy friends would be like around her watching a
Damn.
movie on her
So
iPad.
she getting
Job,
fucking
though.
trained.
No, not necessarily, but like as a guy, it's hard to
Damn.
like get on the phone and just see your girlfriend in around an environment with just all
And
males.
is it because
Uh-huh.
you think that she is for the streets, or because you think you can't compete?
It's one of those two, and that's what I'm saying. You want to say that we want to say that we know a guy's intentions, but just like that,
Because it's
girls
your
are just as devious too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
No,
definitely.
but I can understand because
You've seen some of your friends do some devious shit. You've
Yeah,
been a part of some
definitely.
Never in
devious
my
shit and
life.
hit it.
Never in my life.
Exactly.
Never
So,
in my life.
so we're on a
Never.
mutual level of
Shit.
not on the
agreement.
books.
Shit.
It's not on the books.
Shit.
Would never tell.
We're on a mutual
yeah.
level of agreement to the shit that it's like we realize.
Brother.
Realize.
Realize.
Okay. We realize.
Just like you better wear
That's tough.
you better wear a latex because you don't want to get that I'm latex.
You don't want that.
want to
little-
get that.
Wayne
You,
right
you
there.
better wear a latex because you don't want to get that latex that
I think I'm
la-
late text.
Ooh.
Nice.
So wrap it up. But he's
Like, you just got to be open
think
and
I'm like,
you got to be aware of
"Thanks."
all things that can happen. But I
For
do see
sure.
that guys see that, and that's the thing that they grasp
Yeah, but
onto,
my
and
thing
they use
is-
that as their only excuse.
see the thing is with dudes too is that okay? So girls are gonna be overly friendly for the attention. Guys are gonna be overly friendly because they want to fuck.
Well, why don't
to be
that's the
fair,
thing.
I have a
just be
home.
honest and ask her out?
no.
So who's in the
What?
wrong?
Why not just ask her
Huh?
out?
So who's in the wrong?
Both. See, it's both.
Fair enough.
And see, the thing is that if one party is in a relationship, they shouldn't be doing that.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I think it's
You see
funny
what I'm
because
saying?
all the Hispanic men that I work with in the kitchen, they flirt with every single girl. And they're married, they have kids, and it's like
But their wives might be doing the same things at their job. But they low-key.
but a lot of the times they're stay-at-home moms.
Exactly.
But then okay, so there's a point to where it's fine. I just laugh it off, whatever. But then they'll say something or do something that I'm like, no, like this is not okay.
Like they're crossing a line.
Yeah,
In a way.
I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
you need to just shut up, leave me alone, and I'll just end up walking away and not saying anything.
You can make me free French fries, but once you say something about what I'm wearing or what I look like.
Why would you put the mic closer to your mouth whenever she's talking?
No, this is fine. We can this is good. This is a shared mic and a shared headphone
Okay.
set, so don't you worry.
Oh yeah. Go ahead.
No, but yeah, like working in a restaurant, it's like, please make me free food, but don't be a creep.
Yeah.
So and that's what I'm wondering as like a woman is like, is it wrong to be like tee-hee, like make me free things, get me free things, but like once you cross the line, is it wrong for me to?
But because a lot of the times it's sexually charged because they're giving you the free things
because they want to smash.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what makes it wrong is because it's sexually charged, and then girls know that too, so they're using it to their advantage.
I'm worth more than a free plate of fried potatoes.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. The mic wasn't close enough to your face.
Shut the fuck up. Listen, this is perfectly close. I'm saying, am I not worth more than a plate of free potatoes?
Is the customers? Is the customers?
Yeah, I would hope so. These are
okay. So they're all worth the free potatoes. So the whole business is gonna go out of business because they want free shit.
It's different. It's different.
Yeah,
I work
bad. Bad business model.
I get nothing for free beside my drinks.
Oh, exactly.
No, if everybody,
am I not worth more than a free gin and tonic?
No, none of them are.
Maybe.
No.
I would like to think so.
Yeah, well.
No, well, we can. That's how guys and girls, go about it. You may be worth a free set of fries, but I better be getting some afterwards. You dig what I'm saying?
To you this way.
But they never do. But they continue to do it.
Yeah.
Listen, I get a free plate of wait, whoa.
Huh?
I get a. I get a free plate of fries. So I have to smash for it, and I still don't nut. So I get like one full fried potato, no orgasm, and somehow that's my worth.
Yeah, it's a trade-off.
It seems like not a trade-off.
What does it seem like?
Go ahead.
You're getting something for something else.
I don't know if I am.
It's not a fair trade-off.
I'm getting something for
pussy
nothing.
for fries, pussy for a potato.
It's like Carson pays for
definitely
the
ain't fair to
groceries.
me.
I make the food, and I have to clean up.
Yeah.
And he helps.
And he pays the groceries.
He pays for
I
groceries.
pay for the groceries. Okay, so if you want to go down that road, we can go down the time that it took me to make that money, and versus the time it takes you to make the food
You don't get his
and
time
the
back,
work.
though.
I can do that. I can run that shit up
ain't
right
never
the fuck
right
down.
Let's go. Let me tell my story
we can
first.
go
This
tit for
goes
tat with
back
that-
into the
with
deeper
numbers.
aspect of what we're talking about.
Uh-huh.
So I got a buddy who works at another post office, right? And there was a woman there that he thought was attractive. He didn't know too much about her. He just knew that she was a coworker and she was fun. So he thought he had the opportunity and asked her on a date. And it didn't go anywhere else from there.
Yeah.
But there's a new girl at the office that is working there, and she has to be on the phone. Like Fernando's. I mean, his supervisor. Anyways,
go ahead.
My homeboy's supervisor.
Yeah, he works with Fernando.
Who?
The guy that you're talking about.
Shut up. Anyway, told her she was doing the new girl was doing a route that she didn't know, and he did. So the supervisor told him, like, call Fernando if you need help. Like, get in touch with Fernando. So me and Fernando and all of our homeboys, we all have the same job. We're on the phone all day. So he just added her to the phone call. So that night she has a boyfriend, and that night she was explaining to her boyfriend that she was just on our phone call all day getting help from Fernando, and like, we're actually really cool people. We all got the same job, just that and a third.
Yeah.
But the guy that is her boyfriend is related to the girl that he asked out before she got the job there. But the girl that he asked out is married and has kids, and so he didn't know that. As a man, he didn't know that. He just asked her on a date. Based off of just what she looked like, I guess. But then she ended up telling the new girl's boyfriend to like watch out for him because he asked her on a date. Like when she had a husband and kid, like a family at home, saying that like he doesn't really care about what you have because. So the situation is her boyfriend doesn't want her talking on the phone with him at work, or even like her helping him helping her do her job, because he feels like he doesn't have any respect for other people's relationship and to shoot his shot. But it's literally not that at all.
Yeah.
It's just he doesn't have quite a better understanding. And she's tried to explain to him, like, he just helps me on my job. They're all people that do the same job as me. But
her husband or boyfriend don't like her being around.
Her boyfriend doesn't like or agree with the interaction because he feels like he knows Fernando's feelings, and he feels like he doesn't give a fuck if she has a boyfriend or not, or like that he'll respect their relationship.
Yeah.
So she's in a position where like she has to choose to like, it's not that her boyfriend doesn't have a valid reason, but it's also not like she doesn't know Fernando isn't trying to make a move on her, and because he's not. You know what I'm saying? If he would have known that other girl that he asked on a date that has a kid and a husband was in that position, he wouldn't have asked her that.
Yeah, okay.
You get what I'm saying? So it's like,
maybe she was being a little too friendly. Go ahead.
Because I do feel like that's facts. I was at my summer job training, and this girl was like, "Oh, this guy's my best friend. I love him. We're gonna be close together, like bestie this, bestie that." And then
she had a boyfriend.
A weekend, she was like, "Oh, I'm on FaceTime with my boyfriend," and I said, "Oh."
See,
damn.
I didn't expect you to have a boyfriend because of the way you've been acting. But I feel like men, and that's not a women thing. That's like a men and women thing. It's like when you're away from your significant other, that's who you really are. That's who, exactly. You need to act who like you would be around them.
Yeah.
So it's like men or women. If you're around members of the opposite sex, you need to be who you would be if you were around your partner.
At the end of the day, it all just boils down to a man handling his securities, because I've been that guy that has had my own securities about feeling that these things will happen and and just because that it is an opportunity that could happen, I'm all the way against it.
Yeah.
But like, if I didn't have those insecurities, or if I felt like that guy doesn't have any, like he can't touch me of some sort, like if I had more money than him, or if I felt like I looked better than him, he wouldn't be an issue.
Yeah.
I think that's more of a, like, guys have to kind of, it's weird, bro, and that's why a lot of guys get taken advantage of in this day and age, bro, because they are forced to kind of put their guard down to have a even playing field. But a lot of guys understand that, like, you really can't have that even playing field sometimes because a lot of intentions aren't pure, and it's just, bro, relationships and all that good shit is insane, and the mutual understanding that you have to have is really got to be based off and built off of trust and knowing that they morally ain't gonna do you. That's why I think a friendship is more important than a relationship. Like, I want to be with somebody that I feel like is my best friend. Like, I can tell them even when my nuts got a fucking wart on them. You know what I mean? Shit like that.
Yeah. I see what you're saying.
Let's get off of this podcast.
Yeah, let's wrap it the fuck up.
Side quest.
For real, they having fucking side quest over there. All right, we're wrapping it up.
Since you're kind of the one that we're hosting, give us an outro.
Yeah, give us the outro.
Tell everybody bye.
Should we say a blessing?
No, I usually cuss everybody the fuck out, usually.
That's why we should say a blessing.
All right, let's switch it up.
What the fuck?
Should we close our eyes and bow our head?
I would like to hold hands.
Hey,
Are we
no
closing eyes and bowing
disrespect.
head?
Dear Lord.
No, none of that. No.
Thank
for this supper.
fucking God that we're here
Oh, God.
together.
Oh, my.
I fucking appreciate that we can sit here and talk about real shit.
You're going against the grain in the prayer.
I know.
No, because God
For
made
real.
cuss words, so He knows that they're real. So
Damn.
That's
hands are
another
so cold.
podcast.
Stop. I
That
love
is.
it. Shit. Fuck. Thank you, God. I'm so happy that I've had 5
God.
Thanksgiving meals, 2 Oreo truffles from Sierra, lots of shots. Amen.
Lots of shots.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lord.
What the
Praise God,
fuck?
baby. Amen.
For real.
Okay, well.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy
Yeah, Thanksgiving's
Thanksgiving.
fucking over.
We got them turkeys coming in.
Good.